Hey everybody, so I am on my way to a Regal movie theater because I am going to Mystery Movie Monday. Regal does this thing on Mondays where they have a showtime for a mystery movie that hasn't been released yet. So the viewers have no idea what they're going in to watch. But it's supposed to be a horror movie today. So I'm looking forward to that. I love horror movies. So I wonder what it'll be today. Hey everybody, so I made it to the Regal Theater. That is the Regal Theater that I will be watching the Monday mystery movie, or Monday movie mystery. I don't have the exact order of the words memorized, but here we go. Okay, so I just got done watching the Monday mystery movie at Regal. I had never watched a Monday mystery movie before, so it was an experience. I think I mentioned earlier, it was supposed to be a horror movie that nobody knew what it was going to be. And so I mean, not only did I not know what this movie was going to be, I had never heard of it before. I had never seen any trailers for it or anything. Like, I literally had no idea what to expect with this when it showed up. And at first, I'll admit, at first I was disappointed with this movie because it advertised that today's Monday mystery movie was supposed to be a horror movie. And the movie starts, and it's a documentary about how these two teenage boys went missing. I'm thinking in my head, like, this is not horror at all. You know, and the majority, the whole movie is in documentary form, right? And I'm just like, I'm going throughout this whole movie, like, what the heck? I was expecting a horror movie, not a documentary about some missing kids. But I will say, you know, there were some interesting scenes throughout the documentary that, you know, last year I watched a documentary form movie, and I can't think of what it was called at this moment, but I rated it 3 stars, the documentary movie that I watched last year, and it just so happened to be horror themed. I love horror movies. This was a horror themed documentary format movie that I watched last year, and I rated it 3 stars because not even the horror aspect of that movie could keep me awake in the theater at the time. But it wasn't the worst movie I watched. The worst movie I watched last year got 2 stars. It was this action movie that I just did not like. And the documentary format movie got the advantage over that 2-star movie because of the horror aspect to it. Now, I will say that this movie that I watched tonight, although it is also in documentary format, I will say is a better movie than the documentary formatted film that I watched last year. Like I said, the documentary formatted film that I watched last year, I gave only 3 stars to. Now, yeah, there were some scenes that were more interesting than others throughout the movie, throughout this documentary film, formatted film. I haven't even said the name of this movie. The name of this movie is Hunting Matthew Nichols. Matthew Nichols is the name of one of the 2 teenage boys that went missing. This whole movie is a documentary that of the sister of Matthew trying to find out what happened to her brother and his friend that went missing. And I was curious. I mean, I didn't actually look it up online if this was actually a legit documentary. But I'm going to guess that this documentary is not a legit nonfiction. Not because of what happens at the end of the movie, but because looking at the end credits, the only person in the documentary that played the name of the person in the movie is the Markian person, who's the director in the documentary, as well as the documentary of the movie. The Markian person is the only person that uses his name, the same name of himself, in the movie. Everybody else is all these different actors and actresses playing these characters in the documentary formatted movie, including the sister of the missing Matthew Nichols that the movie got named after. So because of that reasoning, I'm going to say it's not a legit documentary, even though it was in the documentary format. Now, besides the moments that are more interesting than others in this documentary formatted film, the ending is very creepy. Throughout this whole movie, I was wondering, like, why the heck did they call this a horror movie? Well, if you watch the entire movie, and till the very end, and there's even an end scene, an end credit scene in this movie. If you watch the entire movie, you find out at the end of the movie why they call it a horror movie. The ending of this movie is definitely horror. And it is super creepy. The ending is clearly the best part of the whole movie, because that's the part of the movie that's actually horror. The rest is just like a documentary about a girl trying to figure out what happened to her brother. But the ending 100% is horror. Definitely creepy. And it's the ending of this movie that is the reason why I give it a higher rating than the documentary formatted film that I watched last year. I give Hunting Matthew Nichols 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. Gets a half-star rating better than the documentary formatted film last year. And the ending of the film has a lot to do with it. I can't, in my right mind, give it a 4-star rating just because of how disappointed I was with the majority of the movie, with how it was a documentary, and I kept wondering why they would call it horror. And they just, I don't know. But I give it 3.5 stars. And until my next video,